The G7 summit was held in Japan this weekend, and so I visited Maidenhead Town Centre to get the opinions of a random member of the public on the event. Here was Michelle's response when I asked how important she feels events like the G7 are.
Critical. Collaboration is necessary in a very divided world, so the more that we can bring leaders together, the better. Not always effective, but it is important to at least create a space where people can come together and hear each other.
So, you say it's maybe not always effective. What do you think would an effective summit would look like, and what would a less effective summit look like? What would the focuses be, do you think?
I think it's all about actions and outcomes. There's a lot of discussion, and we're in a very dangerous place with regards to the climate crisis, and I think that we need to have priorities and that there needs to be bold and courageous decisions made and outcomes so that actually people are taking action rather than just keep talking about it.
Right, so it's less about sort of the ceremonial show of unity aspect and more about concrete policies being decided upon?
Yeah, I think the ceremony piece is important. I think it's important to have a space where people can come together. So that is the starting point, that's the catalyst. But then it's what you do with that. And unfortunately, I feel that there is a lot of discussion, the G7, the COPs, and unfortunately there's discussion and there are some breakthroughs that come out of it, but it's a minuscule aspect.
So a lot of the statements made by the leaders at this particular G7 summit have been focused on international relations, especially with Russia and China. They've both been criticised pretty heavily. Do you think that's the right area to focus on, or do you think there are other issues that should have maybe got more airtime?
I think the climate crisis should have got priority. Of course, Russia and China are a critical component to the climate crisis, and the decisions that they make, given the size of their countries, and the impact that they create, is absolutely vital. But yeah, I don't think the lens around climate crisis is quite as prioritised as it needs to be.
Perfect. Thank you so much for your time.